What's going on today, everybody? We're back in the fish room, and on today's video, I've gotten a lot of new fish in the past couple weeks to a month, so I figured might as well do a tour of what all we have, especially for the new subscribers. Again, like and subscribe. If you're new, what are you doing? Okay, obviously, we're gonna start with the saltwater tank because it's the only saltwater tank I got. I have 4 clownfish, all different types. And yeah, no, I don't know. Like, that's a standard clown. That's obviously a black clown. These two, I don't know. I think that's like an ice something clown. And the other one, honestly, I have no idea. If you guys know, put it down in the comments. But also in here, we have Dupang damsels that have got that nice blue and then the yellow on their bottom. There's 5 in here, remarkably, but you only see 1. Then obviously we got our blood shrimp coming out to play, thinking they're hungry, which they're not. And then we also have 2 railway gobies in here that you never see, and I also never see. Now you can tell they're doing some damage because we got big caves all over, sands all pushed all over. Sometimes they come out to play, sometimes they don't. Maybe if I see them coming on out, we'll pan back over here. But that's the whole saltwater tank. We got a couple corals. No, I have no idea what the names of the corals are, of course. I can't remember all that stuff. But yeah, saltwater tank, it's slowly coming along, slowly coming. We're slowly adding more and more fish, just kind of getting comfortable with the old saltwater because, for the most part, strictly freshwater. So we're going to move on to our 100-gallon acrylic tank that has Congo tetras, those nice males there. And then I believe there's 1 female running around here somewhere. And then we have 2 different type of rainbow fish in here. I believe a Bozeman and then some type of orange one. I don't know if it's an orange burst or whatever, something like that. Also, we have some koi angelfish in here. As you can see, the valve is kind of blocking them, but we got an angelfish in front, angelfish in back that may or may not be trying to lay eggs. You can see it back behind that. Yeah, that guy right there may or may not be trying to lay some eggs. I don't see any back there, but it's a possibility. And then we just got 1 lonely discus. Just 1 lonely discus. We are working on a fully planted discus tank. I just don't know exactly if I want to turn this one into the discus tank and take out our rest of our rainbow fish and whatnot and put them in our 300-gallon, but you guys don't need to worry about that quite yet. On to our 40-gallon breeder wall. We got 9 tanks on this wall, all 40-gallon breeders. We're going to start here and just work our way over. In this one right here, we have 2 jewel cichlids, a nice pair. We got a male and a female. Sometimes they like to come out and play, sometimes they don't. Hopefully we got some pretty good breeding action in there. They are one of the newer fish that I got too. So they're still trying to just nestle in, if you will. But yeah, hoping to breed them soon, very soon. Moving here, we have a pair of Jack Dempseys in here, I believe, that like to hide in between this rock for some reason. And yes, I know, the guppy grass in here is ridiculous, and it's kind of hard to see these guys. Also, they haven't been in here very long, so they haven't really established as well. We also have a couple golden vampire plecos, but I mean, you might be able to barely see his tail in that cave. Most likely not. He flickered a little bit there. But yeah, too many hiders. They just haven't been here that long, so they're kind of hiding a little bit. What are you going to do? These guys down here definitely do not hide whatsoever. So we have 3 chili Oscars, as well as 2 albino iridescent sharks. And yeah, the hope is to, once these guys get a little bit more size, we can go ahead and throw them also in the 300 gallon with our very adolescent Oscar. So yeah, hyper feeding this tank just to kind of get some serious girth on them. And yeah, hoping to move them in the next month or two. Moving right along, we're going to go right back to the top here. We have some albino peacock cichlids, also hoping to breed them. Still no luck. I believe I only have one female, to be honest. And for some reason, they're all just hiding in the back of this tank. Look at them all. That's my female, I believe, and then the other ones might possibly be all males. I have no idea. There also is a sun cat in there, but he's real hard to see. He always hides behind that filter, so he looks like that right there. So once he gets a little bit bigger, we'll be able to see. Moving on down to here, we have our, what are you Platies called? It starts with a V. Variegated Platies, as well as our beautiful Galaxy Betta that's currently trying to bite my finger thinking it's food. But the color on that guy is tremendous. So we are going to try and breed him with a female that is also in this bottom tank right here. She is right there in the middle by that baby Anubias. Look at her. Yes, she is very small. We got to get some girth on her as well. But this tank is more my guppy tank, fancy tail guppies. There's a nice male, a nice blue male in there. We have culled quite a few of them because they just weren't looking how I wanted them to look. And the only other thing in here is one Julii Cory that kind of just hangs out. We might end up adding him to our community tank that has a whole bunch of other Corys. We got salt and pepper Corys, we got skunk Corys, we got an orange Venezuelan Cory. It's just a mixture of Corys. Now, moving on to Denise's tank here. Our pride and joy, our MBU puffer. Once she gets some serious size on her, she will probably also make her way into the 300-gallon tank and or community tank because she gets along with these nice rock curbensis that I got in here. That's a nice small female, aggressive female there. And then we have a monster female. And the male it gets beat up by that giant female. So I don't know if I need to take the male out and put him elsewhere. Yeah, and then the only other thing we got in this tank is our royal plecos. We got two of them. Nice red eyes on them guys. We got one there, and then I believe there's one hiding behind the sponge filter. You got to see his tail a little bit. And then the rock herbensis male, I have no idea where he is. Probably hiding from that vicious female. Down to this tank, we have our wild type live bearers. They are a hump lima, if you will. The male on these, once they get like good size, they have extremely good color for being wild types. So we got a couple males, a couple females, just trying to get them to breed. Also, as you could see, we got some red and gold Severums. Should have a pair in here, uno, and then dos hanging on out in the guppy grass. And something you guys never get to see because they're always hiding is some fire Severums. I also have a pair, but they blend into the back of the background. So there's one, and then the other one is a little, I believe the other one's a male. That's like perfectly fire back in there. Yeah. You can see, look at the red on that cat. So I'm guessing obviously the darker one's probably a female, and the one that looks like fire, aka red, is the male. And they're never out to play, so I'm glad we got them, to be honest. Now below them, we have a giant colony of shell dwellers, and I mean giant. What's probably going to happen is we're going to be taking out, like that is a massive male. We're probably going to be taking out a male and a female pair, a couple of them, because there's a couple different colonies in here, and those are going to go to the fish swap. And we're going to get rid of some of these guys because we got too many of them. I also had a good idea of possibly putting them in the pool and just having a giant colony of them. But you guys put it down in the comments. What would you guys like to see? Would you rather me just sell them off or giant colony in the pool? Put it down in the comments. Now, we'll move on over. Actually, we'll move on over to our planted betta fish tank that I just set up a couple weeks ago. And it's got a nice half moon betta fish in here, obviously hiding. He's a nice orange color on him. Sometimes he hides in the middle here. Might have to come back to him whenever he feels like coming out. But yeah, nice planted tank. It's growing good, growing good. Maybe when he decides to come out, we'll zip over there real quick and show him what you look like. Now here is a 125-gallon community tank. It's got all the fish you could think of. It's got trout guppies, so that's a male there, female there, another male there. We have one electric blue acara that's super vicious and kills its tank mates, aka his brother. We got Bolivian rams. We got a whole bunch of baby trout guppies. We got swordtails, orange swordtails. We got axolotls. We got two different axolotls in here. We got, what else we got in here? Those cories. I don't know where they're hanging out. Probably zipping. There's a skunk cory way in the back. It's kind of hard to see because the light's being blocked out by our giant mass of Java moss. I mean, it is doing incredible. This tank, this community tank is doing extremely well. Also, there's blue Mickey Mouse platies that like to hide in the back. Ah, there's one there. But yeah, usually they like to hide in the back. I don't know why. Now, just below them are the big dogs, aka piranhas. I just cleaned the tank, so it's a little murky, and it doesn't help when you clean the tank. The piranha's tails are so strong, it just flicks up all that sand and just dirties the tank immediately. But yeah, not as vicious as you would think. I mean, obviously when you put food in there, they get pretty aggressive, but you clean it in there with your hand, no worry of getting bit. Also, a random mosquito fish in here because the piranhas don't eat them. Yeah, and then we got a couple nice plants in here. Look at that crip. That's a beautiful colored crip. That's impressive. Got a little bit of dwarf sage growing, just a little bit, just to keep it nice and clean. Yeah, piranhas, I know. All right, let's move to the 1,000-gallon pond. Now in here, we have koi fish, butterfly koi fish, obviously a ginormous fancy tail goldfish. Look at the head on that man. That head is about the size of a tennis ball, and I'm not exaggerating. So you see the butterfly koi there. We got two butterfly koi, obviously the monster one and then the little bit smaller one. And then we have two standard koi fish, that white one and then the other one that's whiter. A couple common goldfish that were just feeders, just seeing how big they get. Usually these guys are in the pond outside, but obviously it is a winter time and like 30 degrees out and was way colder, so they're not in there. They might as well grow out in here. Once it warms up, we will then move them back out into the pond, which should be a pretty fun video. And then guess what? The alligator gar goes back in here. All right. Here we go, the big reveal. Last but not least, our 300-gallon aquarium that has our giant Oscar. Yes, he's been beat up. We used to have a tiger shovelnose in here. That's actually in the pond, but guess what? you won't see him because he always hides by the pump. So we got this monster here that is healing up actually very well. And then we have a nice albino sterlet sturgeon who has got some serious size. And they are just cruising in here. So yeah, my plan is all those Oscars, like I said, and iridescent shark will go in here once they get to a big enough size to where this man won't attack them. So yeah, possibly the other cichlids, like I said, our Jack Dempseys, once they get like the behemoth size too, they'll also go in here. But yeah, this is going to be a real fun tank once we get some fish growing out. Okay. Now, before we go, obviously, the tour is done, but the 300-gallon is also good for other things and having a little bit of fun. So we got a mini submarine here, hooking her up right now. It may or may not have a counterbalance weight on her. And yeah, we're going to see what the Oscar does to this thing. I have no idea how the Oscar's going to react, considering he is wanting to attack this thing on the drop. I'm interested. Okay. He's a little dot. Okay. Oh, he's like, okay, now I have competition. Okay, this Oscar might. Oh, he's chasing. Oh, okay. If he takes this thing down, man, he might take this thing down.
This thing was only $30. That counterbalance really works the prop there.
Oh! He got a little angry. He got a little angry at that. So yeah, Oscar doesn't really seem to care anymore, really. He swam off. He's like, man, it's not really for me. It's making weird noise. The sturgeon obviously doesn't care. Oh, and sucked into the pump. Just like that. Submarine ended. I figured the Oscar would do a little bit more. So yeah, that is that's a nice little quick walkthrough of the fish room. Obviously, I feed them all Hikari stuff because Hikari is the way. Just an absolute lineup. That's half of it because there's even more over here. So yeah, nice little fish room tour. Nothing to it but to do it, baby. Hopefully some expansion here in the next couple months. So hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, turn on those bell notifications, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.
See ya!